Well, here's some tough love, folks. Hate to do it to you, but here's what's happening, and I warned you. I warned them. I warned Trump. I warned their senior advisors that this was going to happen. We're losing. We're losing the race. We're losing the presidency. And I said a long time ago, Trump will be the last GOP president in our lifetime, and I meant it.
More MAGA Republicans are publicly panicking about the state of the 2024 election after the wildly successful Democratic National Convention, including Eric Bolling, a major former Fox News and Newsmax host who dropped about a 2.5-minute video of quote-unquote tough love begging the Trump campaign to reverse course. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have a couple of clips to play in this video. As you know, the current state of the 2024 election is not great for Donald Trump, but the election isn't today, so there's still time for that to change. Donald Trump may yet win the election. We should all take that seriously, and none of us should rest for a second on our laurels. But it's also true that we should celebrate the fact that right now the momentum is on our side, the fundraising, the energy, the polls. And many MAGA Republicans are aware of that. Some of them are too cowardly to do anything than, regurgitate Donald Trump's denial. But you do have prominent Trump supporters, people who love and revere and worship Donald Trump, who are MAGA Republicans and, wield enormous influence in media. Eric Bolling is one of them. He was on Newsmax. He was on Fox News. He hosted shows on both networks. And this is not the first time, but this is merely the latest public begging, dropping a tough love reality check on the Trump campaign, begging them to reverse course. So we're going to play this clip, this video. It's about 2.5 minutes long, and then we'll unpack it together.
Well, here's some tough love, folks. Hate to do it to you, but here's what's happening, and I warned you. I warned them. I warned Trump. I warned their senior advisors that this was going to happen. If you waited till after the DNC, which was the plan, Trump even said that when asked at a press conference at Mar-a-Lago, he said, well, we're going to let the honeymoon go, and then we're going to wait till after the DNC to go after her. You waited too long, guys. You waited too long, Susie Wiles, Chris Lasividia. Get Corey Lewandowski in there and shake things up while you still have a chance. I'm not sure you still have a chance. We're losing. We're losing the race. We're losing the presidency. And I said a long time ago, Trump will be the last GOP president in our lifetime. And I meant it. I said it when he was president. When he lost, I said he will be the last GOP president in our lifetime, meaning if he won again, that was it, because look what has happened. The left, the Democrats have taken a horrendous candidate, someone with no policy ideas, only failures under her belt, and they've redefined her. Look at this. This is the ratings, not even including last night, the final night of the DNC, which they crushed it. Now, if you look, here's Fox News right here, and here is MSNBC. MSNBC is beating Fox News, beating Fox. It's unheard of. And look at over here. Very quickly, I'll show you Newsmax. Newsmax is just not even existent. You see Newsmax right over here? That's Newsmax. They're sliding every week. Newsmax is down 5 weeks in a row. Maybe 6 since I left, whatever. They're still not able to grab an audience. So no one's watching Newsmax. Fox is now getting beat by MSNBC. Now, I know it's the DNC, but Fox is way bigger than MSNBC. They should never be being beat that way. So the enthusiasm level on the left right now is overwhelming. You know what else they're doing? Have you seen this? They're trying to redefine the Democrat Party. They're trying to say that the Democrats are the patriots, the party that's worried about the country. They're wearing camo hats with Kamala Harris's name on it. Camouflage, that's ours. She was flanked in her speech last night by 2 American flags. There's no pride flag there. They're redefining it. They're going after our independent voters, the people who are leaning right, who want to vote right to save the country, but are starting to like what they're about. They're letting them redefine Kamala Harris and redefine the party. We waited too long. It's not right. The camo hats. I'm blown away.
So, just the sense of entitlement and the whiningness coming from Eric Bolling just continues to amuse me. Camo is ours. We own camouflage. Everyone knows that Republicans and the right, they have trademarked, they have copyrighted camouflage. How dare you? I mean, it's pathetic, but it's hilarious too. I love these meltdowns. I love it because there's a sense of self-awareness. Eric Bolling, the reason he's doing this is because he actually wants Trump to win. He cares more about winning than he does about kissing Trump's ass, even though as a MAGA Republican, he's inclined to do both. But he is daring to publicly defy the denialism emanating from Mar-a-Lago in the vain hope that Trump will hear it and will reverse course, right? He's not breaking away from Trump. He's not saying, I'm going to vote for Vice President Harris. Or no, he's like, no, I want you to win so much that I know that you're getting bad advice or you're doing the wrong thing. So I'm trying to give you better advice. Now, of course, where any sane Trump advisor would probably break with Eric Bolling is when he says, hey, ignore Chris LaCivita and your sane Trump advisors and go with Corey Lewandowski. Corey Lewandowski, disgraced Trump campaign manager, sexual harasser, somebody who is just wildly inappropriate, somebody who will only let Trump be Trump, somebody who feeds Trump's worst impulses. Again, the id in the Trump campaign. The problem isn't the Trump campaign. The Trump campaign has been pretty damn successful, all things considered, when you consider Trump's track record, which is atrocious, and Trump as a candidate. The problem is Trump the candidate. The American people, again, the media ecosystem, our political institutions, it's all affirmative action for Republicans. It's designed to grade Republicans on a curve and give them a pass. And Donald Trump is snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, which I am personally enormously gratified by and hope he continues to do. But simply because Trump is Trump, because Trump is stupid and dishonest and unlikable. Now, so I disagree with Bolling there when he's like, hey, just basically let Trump be Trump. No, Trump being Trump is what got you into this mess. But he is correct overall that the Trump campaign at this point, because it's subordinating itself to Trump's worst instincts, they are losing as a result. I want to play some other clips. Some of them have featured in previous episodes, but just as a reminder of how badly Trump is losing. And one of them even goes to the thing that Trump values most in this world, viewership and crowd size. Also, what Kamala Harris did last night, she went to a swing state. They filled another arena, the same one that President Trump was in, and we all were in a month ago. And the thing that's quite incredible is that why would they do that? Well, one of the reasons is because David Plouffe, who's now running this campaign, and he had run the Obama campaigns, he knows exactly how to get new voters' phone numbers and their names, and I bet that all of them were contacted today to said, will you vote? Can we count on you to vote? Can you give us $20? They just raised $500 million in the last month, and 62% of the people that donated are people who never even gave a dime to Joe Biden. So I think that was also partly the strategic reason to. Yes, there's a lot of strategy behind this. So again, note what she's saying. At the same time that the Democratic National Convention, which is again the peak of Democratic party activity, right? It's the convention. That's going on in Chicago. I was there for it. It was energized. At the same time, in a different state, a swing state that had previously hosted the Republican National Convention, so the peak of Republican activity, they filled out the same arena that Trump filled out. So they basically had double the energy, double the output, double the results. That's how much energy is behind the Democratic National Convention and the Democratic Party as a whole at the moment. That is what Eric Bolling is freaking out about. That's what he's trying to warn Trump. And again, it's reflected in the polls. National polls, the vice president is up nearly 4 percentage points if you look at 538. If you look at, again, about 4 to 5, if you look at Silver Bulletin, which is Nate Silver, formerly of 538, he now has his own bulletin. She's beating him in more swing states than not. This election is trending in the wrong direction. If you have any, for Trump, but the right direction for the rest of us. And if you have any doubts about that, which you shouldn't, but let's say you do, consider this. This is a Trump campaign spokesperson on Fox News, basically, again, giving the game away that even though they won't come out and admit that they're losing this election, which I don't expect any campaign to do, by the way, but she gives the game away at the end where she hangs her hopes on Trump winning on a bad interview performance by the vice president. Take a look.
Just the 2-second answer here. Does he have a problem? Does he have work to do with the female demographic?
We're going to keep working hard to make sure we capture every vote, and that includes the female vote. As soon as Kamala Harris sits down for an interview or accepts the Fox News debate, the voters are going to hear from her directly and going to know what a disaster she is, because as a woman, I know that women care about those kitchen table issues, and the top issues are inflation and the economy. And Kamala Harris has been an absolute disaster on those fronts.
But inflation has dropped. Inflation was a global phenomenon. I'm not sure how you could blame that on the vice president, given that the conservative government in the United Kingdom also suffered from inflation, much worse inflation than we did in America, and it's taken them considerably longer to try to get it under control. So there's that. And then the notion of the economy, again, Donald Trump's economic record is just factually inferior to the Biden-Harris record. Now, the perception is different, but even on that score, we've seen movement. The Financial Times, one of the most reputable pollsters in the country, they have at least one poll showing that more voters trust the vice president than Donald Trump by 1 percentage point within the margin of error, but trust the vice president on matters of the economy over Trump. So Trump is even vulnerable on this issue. But again, don't even take my word for it. So they actually, there have been focus groups of undecided swing state voters, Pennsylvania, okay, a state that Donald Trump and the vice president need to try to win. And they're pretty impressed with her.
First thing I want to ask you, I want you to grade the speech, okay? A is excellent, B above average, C average, D below average. We all know what F is. Let's start with you. How do you grade the speech?
I gave her a B plus.
B.
B plus.
A.
B plus.
A.
A.
C.
C. So first thing I want to ask
So
you.
I should also say that the person who gave her C, it turns out, was actually not really an undecided voter because they didn't vet particularly well. It's a person who has a history of pro-Trump propaganda on his social media and pro-Trump expressions, which is totally fine. You're still free and to vote, but you're not an undecided voter, right? If you have a staunch history of Trump support. So the fact of the matter is the overwhelming results of that focus group say that they were pretty pleased, A's and B's, with her speech. She is gaining momentum. The momentum is on her side. And the longer that the Trump campaign continues to, at least internally, deny that reality, the more that they are likely to lose this election. Now, again, I say this again. I always hate to be the bearer of bad news, or rather the realist or the cynic here. But again, this energy and this momentum will not sustain itself. There's no real such thing as inertia. We have to keep making the choices that we make. We have to continue to show exuberance and energy and support and enthusiasm for the Harris Walz campaign with funds and donations and door knocking and canvassing. I'll be going to Wisconsin, another swing state that we need to win, in October, the first weekend on October, to door knock and a canvass. I encourage all of you to sign up. I've shared a link before. I'll share it again for you all to join us. But we have to get out the vote. We have to continue that momentum because it won't sustain itself. Likewise, we have to hope that Donald Trump, in his stupidity and his narcissism, will continue to ignore the warnings of the Eric Bollings and the Bill O'Reillys of the world. Or if he does listen, actually listens to the worst part of their advice. Because again, Eric Bolling had some bad advice there. Listen to Corey Lewandowski. Just do whatever Corey Lewandowski wants you to do. Well, Corey Lewandowski wants Trump to do what Trump wants to do. That's how he thinks success is determined. Just let Trump be Trump. Letting Trump be Trump will lead to defeat, more likely than not. So, whatever. We should hope that he ignores the good parts of Eric Bolling's advice, and if he is going to listen to the worst part of it. But these things just don't sustain themselves. We have to continue to do our part to sustain the momentum that we have. But so far, it's looking really good, folks. As somebody who is a outspoken cynic, I feel optimistic for the first time in a long time since the vice president became the presumptive Democratic nominee. And being at the Democratic National Convention in person, I will tell you that this energy is not manufactured. It is real. It's palpable. And I think it bodes well for us. But in the meantime, you let me know what you think in the comments.